What I really think about 2019 Yamaha WR450 coming up. Hey, what's up guys, Rado here with Dirt and Iron. Today we are going to talk about this 2019 Yamaha WR450 that we had on the channel for the last 7 months, and we did a lot of riding, we did a lot of testing, we changed many things on the bike. We had it stock, we had it with free mods, we had it with stock exhaust, the GYTR FMF exhaust, we had it with a stock ECU, with GYTR ECU, and I feel like now I have a good feel for the bike. So today in this video I want to share my very honest review of 2019 Yamaha WR450. Let's talk first about the look of this bike. This bike looks very much the same as 450YZ, and I think it's a nice design. It's a little bit different than your other bikes because you do have the tank that is underneath you, and where normally you have a tank there is a air filter. Let's talk about the best thing this bike has compared to other bikes, and definitely number one thing that I love about these Yamahas, and it's your suspension. It is just amazing, phenomenal. Really stock from the factory without spending any money whatsoever. This bike feels amazing. I just played with the clickers a little bit, make it a little bit stiffer because I was taking this bike on the trails and also on the track, hitting some 50-60 foot jumps we have on the wet track here, and it felt amazing. It's really like the feedback you get from the trail and how connected you feel to the trail, and you can go fast, you can go slow. It was really great. I felt really good on this spring KYB suspension. It's really something. I wish other dirt bikes will come with suspension like this. It's really great. If you are average guy, if you are, I'm like close to 200 pounds now, that you don't need to do anything. You really don't need to spend any money on the bike. Ride it for a few years like that. Then later on, when you need to, change oil and bushings and whatever, then maybe get it dialed a little bit more to your skill and weight. But from the beginning, I think you will be plenty good on the stock suspension. Just play with the clickers and set it to your liking. Now let's talk a little bit about power, and this is very interesting topic about this bike because it comes super choked from the factory. Well, it has to meet certain standards here in California. It is a trail bike, so they had to choke it, cork it down to meet those standards. So from the factory it comes with this funny snorkel in the airbox that is preventing air to flow into the engine, into the intake. Then your exhaust is plugged, there is something inside the exhaust, so it's preventing the air to go out. And then your throttle has some kind of throttle stop that doesn't allow your throttle to open fully. You can only use like maybe 40% of your throttle, so it's really choked. So if you buy this bike and you ride it stock and you don't do anything, it will not even feel like 450. It kind of sounds a little bit, it sounds a lot choked, and it's not so fast. So what guys usually do, and what we did on this bike as well, is to do a free mods. Take out that snorkel from the exhaust, from the airbox, open the exhaust, also remove the throttle stop so you can use 100% of your throttle. These are free mods, so they don't cost any money. And after that, the bike feels much better. It's still not full potential of the bike, but it does feel much better. And I think this power will suit a lot of people. If you are somewhat, not a very experienced rider, but you want to have 450, you may be a little bit heavier and a little bit bigger guy, or you just kind of want to progress and have the bike that can grow with you, I think this is a good bike to do that, because you can do those free mods, keep it like that in that form, and ride it like that. I took it on a track like that, I took it on the trails like that, and it felt good. I mean, I could feel that it was lacking a little bit of power, especially from the bottom. Once you get into like mid-range, it was running fine, but from the bottom you could feel that it was choked and didn't pull from the corner, especially on the track. So you can definitely feel that, and for some people it's a plus, because the power is not so violent, and it's still 450, it still has the torque in like a mid-range, and yeah, you can keep it like that for the stage. And then when you get better, where you feel more confident, you can go ahead and spend a little bit of money and do your GYTR ECU, which is like $150. Then it comes with two different maps, mild and wild. Then you can get a switch for like 80-90 bucks that you can switch between those two maps. And you can also then do different exhausts. You can do slip-on from FMF for like 300, 350, or you can do full system for 650. So let's say you spend $900 extra on this bike, and that's what we did. We did the mods that are worth $900. We put it on the bike. GYTR ECU switch for the maps and full exhaust. And this bike feels amazing. After we did all that, I have videos like how I did it, and then the impression. It's definitely way better. It's louder for sure, and then you can just feel how now the bike really wants to rev, and it follows the throttle immediately. I just touch it and it revs right, after my throttle, and it sounds very crisp and very healthy. It's amazing now. It really feels great. It opened up the bottom. The bike is now, it just sounds happy. That's how I would explain it. Like if you start it, if you go on the gas, it's really a happy sounding bike. Before it was really choked. You could feel it, you could hear it. Now it sounds really good. It's opened up, it runs great, it has good bottom. So we took it now on the track, we took it on the trails, on fast and slow, and power is really good right now. I don't want to change anything. I can still go ahead and do different mapping, make it a little bit faster. Some people will maybe change the cams from YZ to make it even faster, and myself, I don't want to do anything. Right now, the way it is, it's really great for me. It is fitting my skills. I like it the way it is right now. And also, what I noticed is that with the GYTR stuff on, the stalling issue pretty much disappeared. Before, when it was choked, just with the free mounts, I stalled it a couple times on a slow technical riding when I was in the first gear, just kind of going around the racks or something like that. Now the issue is almost disappeared. I have one video that I did a little test about stalling in this form, and it did really great. So if you spend a little bit of money, you're getting yourself a really good bike. Power is amazing. So, for the power for WR, it kind of can grow with you wherever you feel you are right now. Open it up a little bit more, spend a little bit of money, do the GYTR. You can do one season with free mounts, and the next season over the winter, if you live in those countries with snow and everything, then over the winter you can maybe save some money and open it up with some GYTR competition stuff, and you are getting like completely different animal. And now really bike runs great. I love the power. I'm not really 450 guy. I sold my RMZ 450 because it was like too powerful. I didn't feel like I can handle it. But for this 450, I'm not saying that I can handle 100%, but I can handle it more. I can handle it to the point where I like it, and I would like to keep this bike. That I can handle it to that point. It doesn't scare me, and it's really like a lot of fun. I don't want to come back home when I go riding. I'm telling you guys, I want to stay on those trails and just keep riding. Like every time I give it a little bit of gas, just go on those flowy trails. This bike feels amazing, sounds amazing, and the suspension and handling and everything, it just feels great. So power, it is what you want it to be. So pick your setting and do what you need, and this bike it will kind of adjust to what you need it to be. All right, now let's talk about the ergonomics, the rideability, and the overall feel on the bike. This bike feels different than some other bikes that I've been on the last couple of years. I spent a lot of time on European bikes, and feel is different. I think on Yamaha, I feel like bike is a little bit taller. And when I sit on it or stand on it when I ride, I feel like I'm a little bit higher on the bike, not so much inside in a bike. And just overall feel on the bike, you feel like the bike is a little bit taller, it sits a little bit higher. And it's not something that would bother me. It just feels different, and it takes a little time to get used to it. Like when I was switching bikes when we went on a ride, and I was switching back and forth, I was kind of happy going back to that feel. So it didn't bother me. I really got used to it, and I kind of liked it. So it's not something that would keep me from buying one, but it definitely feels different. If you are thinking about WR450, then maybe you already know how Yamahas feel. If not, then check one out and see for yourself. But it really feels good. It will grow on you. And one thing that myself and some other guys who rode the bike, we felt all together, is that it doesn't really feel like I'm fighting 450. You know, usually those 450s with a lot of rotating mass and just a little bit heavier bike, when you go on something a little bit more technical, you feel like you have to fight the bike. You feel like you have a lot of bike. It is not a light bike, but it does feel pretty good. It does not feel like 450. With all the mass centralization and you know, all the designs and the suspension and the power the way it is, it really feels nimble. Now another good thing about this bike is that stock, it comes with a lot of goodies, trail ready goodies, like your light, a kickstand. Then you also have something that other bikes don't have when they come brand new. Not all of them have it. Is the fan. So if you overheat the bike a little bit, the fan will kick in with like a certain temperature. I don't know exactly, but maybe around 180. It will kick in and help you to cool the bike down. Gearbox on this bike is wide ratio WR, and I like it. You know, some other wide ratios are a little bit different. They have these funny gaps between the gears. Now this one did not feel like that. First, second, third, I think it's nicely spaced. It didn't feel like one is too low and the other one is too high. It felt really good from, you know, coming in a slow technical riding, and when first gear was a little bit too slow, I shift to second and I could stay in a low RPM and it would pull it nicely. And then, you know, fifth gear, going on the connecting trails, I did 90 miles an hour on this bike when it was choked just with the free mats. So it's really a fast bike, and the fifth gear pulls really nice if you need to go fast on the dirt road or connecting trails. So I really like the gearbox. This wide ratio worked really good. And when I took it on the track, you know, do some jumping and things like that, most of the time I stay in the third gear. When this bike was without GYTR stuff, the third gear was a little bit slow from the bottom coming out of the turns. But after we did that, we did a GYTR ECU, it felt good even staying in the third gear coming out of this turn. So it's doable. It's not made for track, but it's doable, and it felt pretty good on a track as well. We did quite a bit of riding, motocross track, trails, slow, fast, technical, open roads. We did all this riding with the free mats only, and we did all this riding with the free mats and GYTR competition stuff on. We could see the difference, we could feel the difference, and I think this bike feels really good in all of these different ridings. Definitely, it is a trail bike, and you can feel that it was made for that category, and it really feels great on the trails. Suspension, power, ergonomics, it feels really good on the trails. Slower, faster, I liked it over there the most. But also on the track, it's okay, and also on the faster, you know, open road. If you live in other states than California, or if you live in Australia or Europe, I'm pretty sure you can make this thing street legal, and then you get yourself a nice dual sport or even a triple sport that you can take it on the street, you know, go and get some coffee from the drive-thru or something. Then you can go jumping on the track and you can go riding a trail. So definitely a cool package. If I can make it street legal here, I'm not sure if this wouldn't be my choice of a dual sport. If I'm ever gonna go street legal and this bike can be street legal here where I live, I would probably really consider to get this bike over some other bikes that are street legal right now. Overall, this bike, I really like it. I'm a little bit sad that I need to give it back to Yamaha. We had great time together for the last 7 months. I was even considering to put some cash together and buy it, but I think next time. I would really like to try FX and even 250 FX. This 2020 year is really updated, and it should be really great bike. So maybe, hopefully, we can get that on the channel and do a little bit of testing there. But for this bike, I like it. It is a great package. There is a lot of positive that I already told you in the video, and if I want to say something negative about the bike, there would be only 2 things. One, it comes so choked from the factory, and if you live in America, you need to spend money to open it up. That's one negative thing. And then second, The design with the air filter, some people will be really turned down with that noise that comes from your intake. It didn't bother me. I think it wouldn't bother 90% of the people, but it is a little bit different than some other bikes that have your, you know, air filter underneath that you don't really feel, you don't really hear any noise. So those are the two things that are not like 100%, but everything else was great. Suspension was phenomenal, and this bike really feels great, man, I had a good time. All right, guys, well, I guess that's about it for today. Share below in the comments, let me know how you like your WR, or you know, what you think about WR. If you have any question about this bike, let me know below. I'll try to answer the best I can. And don't forget, whatever you do, stay motivated. See you guys later.